Receiving simulator transmission.
Uploading transmitted feed. Initializing playback sequence. Alright Seipher, we're ready.
Hey everyone, Seipher here, and welcome back to Seipher Plays Yugioh, Reshef of Destruction. In the last episode, we made our way to Domino Pier to search a cruise ship for the second Millennium Item. On board, we encountered My Valentine, being accosted by washed-up action star Jean-Claude Magnum, still seeking to marry her. In exchange for beating him in a duel, Mai pointed us toward the ship's cargo hold, where another Millennium Guardian awaited us. We managed to best the Guardian, earning us the Millennium Key and bringing a visage of its owner, Shoddy, before us. With 2 Millennium Items recovered, we were able to return to Ishizu and finally had enough power to restore the first of the 3 Egyptian god cards, Seipher the Sky Dragon. This time, we're back in the Muto game shop to go over this powerful card before turning our attention toward hunting down the 3rd Millennium Item hidden somewhere in Italy. So, let's quickly just sort this out, because we do have some details to go over with our first god card, Seipher the Sky Dragon. And also our first divine monster. Now, divine is the 11th attribute in this game's attribute system, and it stands as the king of attributes. They can't be destroyed with elemental weaknesses, they can only be beaten through stats. For that reason, it is very rare and is reserved for the god cards like Seipher and in the vanilla version of Reshef of Destruction, the ritual monsters. In the tolerable patch, though, the divine attribute was stripped from ritual monsters just to, I guess, make them not as broken, which honestly I can kind of agree with. Only the gods should have the divine type. Also, it is frankly hard to activate the ritual spells in the base version of the game because you need specific cards to combine with the ritual spell on the field, and a vanilla version of this game is hard to get really any cards on the field, so not all that helpful, which is probably why most of the ritual spells were just flat out removed in the tolerable Reshef patch. So, Seipher here, being our first god card. As his description says, he is a dragon that can power up based on the number of cards in hand. He gains 3 power-ups for every card in the hand, so one card he gets 3 power boosts, essentially 1500 attack and 1500 defense added onto him. It is a very powerful effect. He must be pretty good with that in mind, since his attack and defense can climb to the highest highs. Well, let's just say he's a mixed bag. To start off with the good, Seipher has seen a buff coming from Sacred Cards, as his ability is now a permanent effect that is checked that is updated constantly. So his attack will fluctuate from 40,000 to start out up to, I believe, a total of 112,000 if he is on the opponent field and you have 5 cards in hand. So pretty powerful. Can easily overcome any card when he is up to snuff. However, that is where his positives end. Because of his effect now being a permanent effect, it will be displayed after every action in the vanilla version of Reshef, which can really slow down duels to a crawl, as every card you play will have the cursor going off, informing you of his effect, and then you have to take another action, go through it all over again. It is a pain in the butt. Additionally, with the addition of permanent effects and Seipher being classified as a dragon, Seipher now has a hard counter in Dragon Capture Jar, turning what would be a nuke into a glorified paperweight until you draw cards like Final Destiny, Heavy Storm, or Harpy's Feather Duster to clear the Dragon Capture Jar from the fields. Thankfully, though, this weakness is not so bad, as the number of opponents packing Dragon Capture Jar can be counted on one hand. That said, it is still annoying. With that, however, there is one more major weakness, and is one that all the god cards share, and a lot of the upper tiers of monsters that have a lot of attack and defense share. Being a god, he requires 3 tributes to summon, which in vanilla is incredibly difficult to pull off at the best of times in a duel that isn't against someone like Duke or Tristan, who is a pushover. For these reasons, I would not recommend Seipher to anyone playing vanilla, which, if you're like me, that is kind of a bummer, because Seipher was my favorite god card out of the three. So, him basically being this super good card attack-wise, being turned down by the mechanics of Reshef of Destruction, just really sits ill in my stomach. Or heart, I guess. Anyway. That said, we are luckily playing the tolerable Reshef of Destruction patch, which can make Seipher a much more usable card. And to do that, we have a few passwords that we can enter, that I will be sharing now. So let's go on inside this. Now, the first major issue is getting enough bodies on the board to summon Seipher. Since he requires 3 tributes, there are quite a few things that we could do. We have a few cards that already swarm the field with bodies, like our Toadmaster and Spirit of the Books. However, there is one specific card combo that can work and is rather potent in vanilla Reshef, which I will not be typing in now, but if you want, you can enter in the password 406-40057 in the password machine to unlock Kuriboh in the card shop. Now, I know what you're thinking. Kuriboh is probably one of the weakest monsters in the game, 300 attack, 200 defense. Why would you want this in your deck? Well, when combined with the card that is obtained from the password 407-03222 in the password machine, you will get the Multiply card, which makes it so that if you have a Kuriboh on the field, when you activate this, it'll fill every available monster slot on your side of the field with Kuriboh. Granted, they will be in attack position, so it's not the best. You will most likely lose 1 Kuriboh token, or more, depending on how many monsters are on your opponent's side of the field when you do so, but it will get you the necessary bodies on the board if you use it right to be able to quickly summon Seipher if you have these cards in your hand. Granted, that is quite a bit to ask, whether it is an opening hand or hoping that you draw into the cards you need. So, good for vanilla, but not great, thus I cannot really recommend it, and thus I will not be doing it for this playthrough. However, there is a step further beyond with the tolerable Reshef of Destruction patch by entering in this password 414268669. We get the card Kaiba Man, which in the vanilla game, this was the code for the Black Illusion ritual, so again, not all that great of a card in vanilla, but it is a unique card for the tolerable patch, and I know what you're thinking. 200 attack, 700 defense, light attribute, warrior. How could this guy be any good for us? Well, Seto Kaiba immortalized as a monster, only he would do this. If you activate his effect, he will sacrifice himself to summon any dragon from your hand. This is the ultimate card to summon out Seipher, because if you have him and you have Seipher in hand, you can just summon him to the field, immediately activate his effect, he'll go to the graveyard and bring Seipher to the field, no questions asked. It is the fastest and easiest way to summon out Seipher, and for that reason I wanted to get him as soon as I had Seipher in my deck. In the event you feel that this card is too cheap, though, there is a version of the tolerable Reshef of Destruction patch that does not include the unique cards. Thus, you can get, tolerable Reshef without anything that you deem as too broken. However, seeing as this is my first time playing the tolerable patch after playing the vanilla version some time ago, I feel like this is acceptable. So let's quickly get us a Kaiba Man, and that didn't cost much because he was he replaced a ritual card. So All in all, pretty good. Now, I want to also just take a look at a certain thing, because I think I saw something when I was scrolling through. Ah, this is one of the best cards in the game, and its cost is a lot higher in the vanilla version, so I'm not sure I'd be able to really make use of this otherwise, but I think I want to take it just because. You're probably wondering why I would want that. Well, first, let's take out... I'm going to take out this Hourglass of Life. I think we're at the point where that's no longer useful. And then I also want to take out a Shadow Monster. You know what? We're not really using Doma, so let's get rid of him. And now we're going to just quickly go with... Well, we'll get the defense for the Castle of Dark Illusions, because it will plunge the field into darkness at the start of your turn, so it is a permanent effect that'll turn, I believe, the field to Yami and turn all of your own monsters face down. This can be very helpful for monsters with effects, so I definitely want to add it. And you don't usually get to use this card at all because of its high cost in the vanilla version, so let's make use of it. And then I want to find Kaiba Man because we want him for Seipher. Okay, so now that everything is set up, sorry that took so long, and sorry I've been kind of long-winded on this, we're going to want to quickly make our way to Italy. Now this is rare. It certainly is. This is a community cemetery from long ago. I know, it's called the Catacombs. That's right, you've done your homework. I haven't done any homework in decades, dear. What an odd couple, and what an odd scene, but if we try and duel them... Duo? What do you mean? Do you want me to be your partner? Do you want me to perform a duo and sing with me? And if we try and challenge her... Jewel? You'll buy one for me? Yeah, can't really expect much from them. Anyway, let's move on. And we find a familiar face down in the catacombs. Welcome to the catacombs. This is a communal graveyard from long, long ago. I'm Bones, your tour guide. If you'd like, I'll show you sights you've never seen before. Sure? Man, why do we have to sightsee in this spooky place? Not that I'm scared. What are you talking about? This place is the best. If you're not tourists, what brings you here? You're searching for a Millennium Item? I'm not sure if that thing is a Millennium Item. Seipher, Bones seems to know something. Where is it? I may not look like one, but I'm a duelist too. If you want to get my info, duel against my ghouls. I'll tell you what I know if you can beat me. But what are your chances against my powerful Neo Ghost deck? Alright, well, we certainly have something prepared. So, the zombie duelist and Bandit Keith's former punching bag is here to challenge us. Say hello to Bones. Bones is a real challenge running a zombie-themed beatdown deck. His non-tribute monsters have a whopping 1600 attack or less, and their attributes are varied. This is further boosted by his ability to change the field up to 3 times to Wasteland with the Wasteland card, where his zombies get a 30% boost. That said, he does have a strong preference for Fiend attributes, so keeping a few light monsters can handle them, and The mountain card can also get rid of his, well, can weaken his zombies, I believe, and then I forget what the name of the card is, but there is a zombie-specific card to deal with any zombies, like to just eliminate them. That can be very helpful, so keeping that on hand if you manage to unlock it in the shop can be very helpful to you. Anyway, we're just going to focus on using our strengthened cards. I did also unlock a certain card from the shop that I didn't really go over. I replaced our Beast of Talwar with it. It is Buster Blader, a level 7 warrior monster of the Earth attribute, 2600 attack, 2300 defense, and has a permanent effect that grants it power whenever a dragon is on the opponent's side of the field, so it is a pretty powerful card. Anyway, this should be quickly wrapped up. Bones really can't stand up to us. Bones out of LP, dual victory, deck capacity increased by 10, 400 domino was obtained, Hero Shadow Scouts, okay, not good. No! I lost! Oh, and speaking of Bandit Keith, and apparently he has some new friends. You said your deck's improved, but it's the same lame deck as always, Bones. But Bandit Keith! I've never seen so many losers in one place. I've watched tougher duels in kindergarten. I'll take you on. We could duel, but I'm not in the mood. I'm just here to show you that I'm alive and kicking. After Merrick's pathetic defeat, I took control of the ghouls and their rare hunters. The ghouls are now reborn as the Neo-Ghouls. And I, Bandit Keith, am the leader of the Neo-Ghouls. Master Keith, you have obtained the information you seek. So that's the key item for getting the Egyptian god cards. With this info, I've earned the right to join the game. You want the god cards? You know why. I need him to thrash that arrogant punk. I'll do anything, and I mean anything, to beat him. I'll let you in on a little secret. You won't find what you're looking for here. See you losers around. Well, he's certainly changed from how we left him in Sacred Cards. He's certainly got more purpose, though I can't say that purpose is good. Bandit Keith said you won't find anything here, but there's a hidden chamber in the back. I bet Bandit Keith's gang couldn't get in. It's over here. Well, thank you, Bones. I think it's in the room ahead. Well, yep, a Millennium Guardian waiting for us, so let's take him on. Those drawn by the Millennium Item, prove your worth here among the eternal slumber. And we're backing up. I suppose this is just to allow the holograms to play, but whatever. So, the Millennium Guardian is here to test us once again. This Guardian, like the last, has non-tribute monsters with 1,000 attack or less and varied attributes. This time, though, the Guardian is packing some pretty strong effect monsters. Two to be aware of are Electric Lizard and Toadmaster. Toadmaster you've already seen, summons a Frog the Jam to basically swarm the field with bodies. The one to look out for, though, is Electric Lizard, which can stun one of your monsters on the field for one turn, even Seipher the Sky Dragon, so be careful with dealing with this one. Do your best to clear the field and finish him fast, or he'll build up bodies to sacrifice for stronger monsters. Anyway, let's take this guy down as quickly as we can. And of course, I probably should have just attacked with Exodia rather than risking Cyber Commander, but oh well. answer. The Time Lord was defeated. Good. Now we can just sort of lay into him. Not quite finished, but almost there. Okay. And there we go. Oh. Well, you had something, but I was easily able to take care of that. Could have summoned Seipher, but I figure we can find a better instance to summon him. Impressive. Take this item. What? What? It's happening again? This time it's Bakura? Which fool woke me up? Cuckoo. I can feel it. I feel a storm brewing over the Egyptian god gods. I see a world where darkness rules. A world perfect for me. Cuckoo. Yeah, that villain is back. Or at least his memory is. Yikes. Millennium Items give me the willies. With the Millennium Ring, we now have 3 items. Seipher, let's get back to Ishizu. Yep, might as well head on back. What do you have to say, Bones? Looks like you found what you wanted. Lucky you. Alright, well, let's not waste too much time around here. Let's just go back to Ishizu and find out where the next item is located. Bandit Keith is also searching for the Millennium Items. I'm afraid that he complicates matters greatly. Our need for urgency has increased. Reshef the Dark Being is insidious. He exploits the weakness in the souls of duelists. I hope that Bandit Keith does not succumb to his power. Fortunately, Bandit Keith did not find the Millennium Ring. That is a ray of hope among all this darkness. 4 Millennium Items remain, and the next one is in China, at the Great Wall. The Dark Being's power is intensifying with every passing moment. Please find the next Millennium Item quickly. Well, with another item secured and China as our next destination charted, we could set out right away. That said, there are a few things that are now open to us, and I feel like we could follow a fork in the road despite Ishizu demanding urgency. Well, not so much demanding, but saying how urgent we need to be about this. So, next time, well, I suppose that is better kept a secret for you guys to wonder about for those of you that aren't familiar with this game. But be prepared for a side quest. Until next time, stay gold.
Playback sequence terminated. Transmission disconnected.